Scott, SJWellfire.com. Final Days Report, episode 250. Kanye West, his birthday, my friends, his birthday party has a spirit of cannibalism, and it fits the seed planting from the occult agenda to eat bugs, humans, and even plastic. You can't make this stuff up. Synthetic food. And some interesting news about lab-grown beef. This is pharmicia, this lab-grown meat, and you're not going to believe how it is actually made from aborted calves, and it has a worse carbon footprint than grass-fed beef. You can't make this stuff up, my friends. Plus, I want to share some good news of a young lady who is raising beef on her own and has a successful business model. I think it's a solution that if you have the means or the desire or the will to raise your own beef, this is a war on your food supply, my friends. But first of all, let's cover Kanye, because they want you to be a cannibal, my friends. Kanye West, cannibal-inspired party. This is a demonic spirit, a Baal spirit. If you're listening to a podcast service, I'm showing this naked model with sushi on her, and it's this dark room with creepy candles. I mean, this is insane. This is from Yahoo Entertainment News. Pictures and footage from the party surfaced on Sunday, June 11th, showing a fully nude woman lying on a table with sushi adorning her body. I mean, what does that say? That screams cannibalism. That's the imagery they want to portray. There were additional plates with the sushi surrounding her on the table. The party room was not lit up by conventional lights, but instead had candles scattered throughout the space. If you follow our ministry, go to sjwellfire.com, type in Trump, type in Elon Musk, type in Kanye. Folks, false light. Anybody that wears a Baphomet suit, Baphomet, right, Lucifer, for their Twitter profile, good night, my friends. They need to tell you who they are. Let's continue with Kanye. It gets even more creepy. This is from the Daily Mail. Kanye West kids lead Sunday service congregation wearing creepy handmaids, tail-style white robes, while wife Bianca, I think is how she pronounces her name, is covered head to toe in a pantyhose, but it's a black pantyhose. So the kids are dressed up in these white robes, creepy robes, and Kanye and his wife are in black. This is totally this occult imagery of white hat, black hat, the knowledge of good and evil, as above, so below. You know, do as you will, good and evil, knowledge of good and evil as gods. I mean, good night, my friends. I pray Kanye comes to Christ and truly gets saved, because his behavior is really a spirit of Jezebel. It's just demonic, my friends. And again, the agenda, we've covered this often. Subscribe to our channel. Sign up for our news alerts too at sjwellfire.com. We send them out about once a week. But the podcast that I did when I saw what Kanye did, Primed to Be Cannibals, super creepy. I go over all the news in all these different attempts within Hollyweird and every other, I guess, media source of just this push for us to become cannibals, including schools teaching kids that, hey, to solve world hunger, we need to become cannibals. I mean, it's sick stuff. And then check out that podcast we did, Liquefied Human Fertilizer. This is soil and green, my friends. But the reason why I want to do this as well is this whole Club of Rome scam that humans are the polluters and need to be culled, right? Humans are causing global warming. You breathe carbon dioxide, so when there's a war on carbon dioxide, there's a war on you. But interesting news came out. Here's from Zero Hedge. Carbon footprint of lab-grown beef, orders of magnitude worse than traditional raised beef. This is a study. Let's continue to read. Researchers conducted a life cycle assessment of the energy needed and greenhouse gases emitted in all stages of production and compared that with beef. So this is that lab-grown crap, in my opinion. One of the current challenges with lab-grown meat is the use of highly refined or purified growth media, the ingredients needed to help animal cells multiply. Currently, this method is similar to the biotechnology used to make pharmaceuticals. This is pharmaceutical beef. This sets up a critical question of cultured meat production. Is it pharmaceutical product or food product? Remember that one article about how these are cancer cells, how they grow this lab-grown beef? Sick stuff, my friends. Let's continue. If companies are having to purify growth media to pharmaceutical levels, it uses more resources, which then increases global warming potential. And first of all, I don't believe in global warming. I think carbon dioxide is a good thing. right? Trees need carbon dioxide to give us oxygen. According to lead author and doctoral graduate Derek Reisner of the U.S. Davis Department of Food Science and Technology, if this product continues to be produced using pharma approach, it's going to be worse for the environment and more expensive than conventional beef production. And here, get this. This media is up to 25 times greater of the so-called global warming carbon dioxide impact. Now, here's from Marcola that I thought was really good. Let's continue to read. While the fake meat industry is being touted as environmentally friendly and sustainable way to feed the world, the true intent is to recreate the kind of global control that Monsanto and others achieved through patented GMO seeds. You need to start your own garden, save seeds, trade seeds, be a guerrilla gardener if you don't have any land, support a local farmer. And I'm going to show, again, an inspiration story of this young lady who is raising beef. Let's continue. Researchers at the University of California, Davis, UC Davis, warn there are major environmental downsides to lab-grown meat. According to their cradle-to-gate life cycle analysis, lab-grown meat industry poses up to 25 times more CO2 than traditional animal husbandry, which nullifies the core ideological foundation which upon the industry is built. And oh, by the way, this is made from aborting these calves. It still uses fetal bovine serum, FBS, as a growth medium, which is obtained from unborn calves that are cut out of the womb and drained of their blood while still alive. Hence, most claims of cultured meat being animal-free or free of animal cruelty are false. Aborted cows, blood drained. So it's this lab-grown meat is like replicates cancer cells gone rogue, and then it's made from aborted calves. I mean, this is some sick stuff. Run from it, my friends. Absolutely run from it. And it has nothing to do with saving the earth from climate change. It has everything to do with destroying an industry. Ireland proposes culling 200,000 cows to help meet climate goals. Pretty soon that'll be you because you breathe carbon dioxide, my friends. French farmers up in arms over the call to cut cow numbers for the sake of the climate. They don't want you to have dairy products. They don't want you to eat beef. World Economic Forum demands 75% global reduction of cars by 2050. They don't want you to be able to travel. It's demonic. We need to do opposite. Keep your old cars, my friends. I mean, it's over the top wicked. And ultimately, control the food, control the people, destroy the water, kill the people. All these chemical spills around the United States that we've covered are really close to rivers. It's pretty interesting that that truck that just blew up in Philadelphia in 95 is very, very close to a river, my friends. It's wickedness. Things like beef, butter, and eggs are wholesome, nutrient-dense foods needed for humans to have healthy. So why the war on beef? Check out that podcast. Go to sjwellfire.com. I mean, beef provides wealth, provides nutrients. There are a whole slew of risks why the elite want to take out your beef. 6% of corporations run 95% of the grain reserves around the world, right? They use this fake PCR test that the inventor said never use to actually diagnose disease. They use that test to cull the chicken supply. They want you to eat 3D printed fish. These are a lot of the different podcasts that we covered. I remember years ago, I met a farmer who claimed, and I never saw his operation, that he was actually capturing the waste from his cattle, and he built a multi-million-dollar biodigester that literally captured the methane and the different gases and turned it into electricity. He said his payback was within a year, supplying electricity to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of homes. Was he telling the truth? I'm not sure. He sure was driving some fancy cars. And I asked him, I'm like, what's your story? And he proceeded to tell me his investment. So there's so many ideas to actually leverage cattle. I remember reading articles about India where cattle is treated almost like a god and all the uses that they use manure for. It was pretty mind-bending. But at the end of the day, grass-fed beef is amazing. I'm going to read a bit. In fact, studies have shown that grass-fed cows produce up to 30% less methane than grain-fed cows. This reduction in emissions is significant when considering the role of livestock play in overall greenhouse gas emissions. And again, I think this is a scam, but they've inundated our kids so much with this occult green communism to save the earth, this fear that they're going to change people's behavior and enslave us all. And it's all moving towards eugenics. But if you actually can communicate with somebody and say, look, you breathe carbon dioxide, this is a war on you, this is pure eugenics, and then show them some information about how grass-fed cows is great for nutrition and it actually replenishes the earth in terms of soil value if you rotate the grazing. And then, oh, by the way, this lab-grown beef is wicked. It has more of a carbon dioxide footprint than grass-fed cattle. And oh, by the way, methane's not bad, especially if you can capture the methane and power homes. All of this, take comfort, is in the good book. 1 Timothy 4, verse 3, forbidding to marry and commanding to abstain from meats which God hath created to be received with thanksgiving of them which believe and know the truth. This is an end of days marker. Abstain from meats. Meats is food, but literally people are abstaining from God's creation. Now, I mentioned I just wanted to highlight this farmer. She looks like she's in her 20s, and she raises primarily sheep for meat, and she also has some cattle for beef, but her main business model is sheep. And I'm just showing, if you're listening on a podcast service, she calls her channel on YouTube the Shepardess, and she says 0 to 100,000 in 3 years. And she's very, very organized. She's a former marketer and has a lot of free tools. And she did not have a farm, but she rented or leased land. Pretty dynamic young lady. I highly suggest taking a look at her channel. Maybe you're not involved in raising beef, cattle, or sheep for meat, but you know somebody that might have interest in something like this. I mean, she's really organized and I think has helped pave the way, as others have, for us to take control back of our food supply. So some listeners said, hey, let's talk solutions. It's always doom and gloom. It's funny. I actually did a podcast about solutions, and it was probably my worst listened to podcast ever. Maybe I'll repost that in these days. So Scott with sjwellfire.com. Thank you for your support and your prayers. And make sure you have a blessed day.